You want to see something cool? Bam!
Whoa!
World! Yep, that's a thing. What's up, people? I'm Xogue, and welcome back to Bare Roots. Dude, there are totally 3 of us now. Yeah, there are 3 of us. Well, we're gonna need 3 of us if we're gonna get this project done. Yep, that's totally true. Well, let's get to it. Oh my goodness, that was the best time lapse ever. I loved putting that together. That was just amazing. There were 3 of me, 3 Xogues. It was great. It was fantastic. Tell me that wasn't productive. Now, for those of you who are willing to help me out and want to try and, see me succeed and become, a popular YouTuber and all that good stuff, this is the video you use. Send this link in all those forums or whatever, most amazing videos, all that good stuff. Thumb it up. Do everything you can to get this out there, because this is the kind of stuff that's going to wow people. At least I think it is. So if you want to help me out, go ahead, spread the word. Send this link to whoever you can, wherever you can. This is the video you use, because this video, at least the beginning of it, is awesome. And that's the important part, the beginning, because that's what hooks people. That's what hooks you. That's why you're still here, isn't it? Anyway, so there are a lot of things that I need to work on, but first I'm going to go over the design. And you see, my original build, it was very, very gray, and I hated it. It was crap. It was just crap. Basically, it really was. And that's because it didn't have any color. Now, those of you who have, been subbed to me for a while, been watching my videos and stuff, you know that I love using water in my builds. I love the color. I love blue. It's just a thing. And now, don't get me wrong. I hate working underwater. It's kind of a pain. But I still do it. And I completely understand water mechanics. So it's actually not all that difficult for me either. But that's why it's here. Because I like water. Also, the blue panes, I originally was going to use light blue, but it didn't look nearly as good as a regular blue. And blue's blue. I like blue. So, it is what it is. And then the light blue mixes up the regular blue and the gray, and it helps tie everything together. So I think it looks great. I think it looks awesome. Now, there are things that I do need to work on, including, well, I need to put something in these corners, right? I mean, it's a base. I need to have something worthwhile. So eventually there's going to be paths leading off of, each of these sides and stuff. And I actually have an idea for what's going over here. But I'm keeping it hush-hush at the moment because it's a new design to something that has never really been farmed all that much. Take a think on that one. Now, it is kind of complicated, but I don't know. I don't know how well it's going to be received, but we're going to try it out. We're going to see what's what. Spiders? Spiders. Totally spiders. But obviously the centerpiece here is going to change completely. The portal is probably going to go away. Like I mentioned, I believe I mentioned, I do need a door. And the chicken farm over here still needs to be spruced up because it's not, well, it doesn't look good. It looks like crap, basically. But it's still over here. It might move in the future. I'm not sure, but I do just kind of need to gain a collection of chickens so I can last a little while in case I have to take it offline for a bit. But yeah, the center here, this is going to be an issue. This isn't designed yet. Everything else here is designed on my creative world, but the middle is not. It's currently empty, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. If you have any ideas, feel free, put them down there. I may or may not use them, but it's worth a shot, right? Anywho, so now we're on my creative server, and I said I was going to put my project on the back burner for a little while and keep it hush-hush, but I decided against that because I needed some content for my episode. It's already pretty late in the day, and I need to get this episode out, so I figured I'd just show you around what I've done so far. Now, just keep in mind, this is an unfinished work. I'm still working on a few of the details, but overall, it is functional. So I figured I'd bring you in and I show you around. So what you have up top is this big plot of grass. Now, usually all the sheep farms you see involve some kind of sliver of grass. It takes a long time to come back after the sheep eat it, and it's horrible. But with a large plot like this, the grass comes back so fast, and the sheep have a lot more to eat, which means they get their wool faster. So overall, this is going to yield a lot more wool. And it supports up to 50 sheep. That's the number I'm guesstimating. I don't know for sure, but 50 sheep is probably as full as you're ever going to need it anyway. So that's the number. But I do recommend less than that. 30 to 35 sheep is pretty much good. Now, you can also put this, you can have all one color, or you can mix them if you're just looking for a mix, or you only want to build it once. If you really, really want to go above and beyond, like I usually do in my episodes, you can have one of these per color. It really isn't that hard to build. It doesn't use too many supplies, but it is a little bit crazy to have, 16 different colors in here. It could be a little bit resource intensive that way. But you could always group them together, do the blues and the reds and the whatevers. It's all up to you, pretty much. It's all up to you. So let's go ahead and see this thing in operation and see how it works. So basically, obviously, on a server or whatever, when I build this, all of the redstone will be hidden. It's just here for demonstration purposes, and it works out pretty well this way. So what we do is we hit this button, we go to our shears, and the sheep will fall down. And as they fall, you can shear them. Alright, you see how they're bouncing around? What that does is pretty much the same thing as you would see in cow farms when you're trying to feed them wheat and breed them. Since they're bouncing around all the times, it's a lot easier to hit more of the hitboxes. Now, your probably going to miss a few here and there, but you can get a fair amount of here just by coming in here and wiggling the shears around a little bit. And I've already done a few sheep in here before this video, just to, you know, pretty much make sure it still works and everything. And after all of the sheep have fallen down to the bottom, you see that they pretty much just settle just like that. Everything's good to go. You can come back here. Now this is a cool part. If you watch up here, keep your eye up here. There's water. That's part of the system, which I'll explain here in a minute. But keep your eye there because it's really cool. They explode and the items shoot out right at the top. So right here, let's see. We have no more wool. Let's see what we got from this one setup. We got 42. This is our wool collection from one set. Now, like I said, these sheep will get their wool back very, very quickly because of the huge plot of grass that's here. It's huge. I mean, you can check back in maybe 5 minutes and realistically get a similar number to this. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I don't know how many sheep I have in there, but in reality, you can play with the number if you need more or less. Use it as you need it, pretty much. So how does this thing work? Now, basically, you pretty much already saw. The basic idea is that water comes out from the corners, pushes the sheep down the 2x2 hole, and they get collected in here, and they're dropping on top of the slime block, which makes them bounce, and therefore makes it easier to hit them and, you know, get their wool. And then when you push the button again, it shoots them back up. And after, you know, a certain delay, these gates will then close. Let's go ahead up top real quick. These gates then close, and since they're only, you know, technically, since fences are 1.5 high, they can walk right up. So this is not interfering with them. They're not going to get stuck. They can walk in and walk right back out. Doesn't interrupt their pathfinding, doesn't do any of that stuff. Now, this is one of the things I'm probably going to end up tweaking, because I will end up having the pistons here with grass that close, because that'll provide pretty much the exact same thing, and I just kind of like pistons better than the fence gates. But in reality, these work just fine as well. Then you have to worry about powering them. So, okay, how does this thing work more specifically? For those of you who are redstoners, you'll probably want to know, but in reality, it's so spaced out and so uncompacted, you can probably see it. So what we have here is we have a button. Now, this button right here goes right to the dispensers to shoot out the water. I mean, that's pretty simple. You have an on, you push the same button to turn it off. Water comes out. When it's off, or when you turn it off, the water gets sucked back in. That's pretty simple. These paths just go into each of the dispensers, spitting out the water, and it's not a big deal. And that's all that does. Then you have this string going in here. Now, this is a flip-flop. T-flip-flop, basically. So what a T-flip-flop does is it basically turns a button into a lever. And that's what we needed for the slime blocks and the gates. So you push the button, this turns on the signal. Well, in this case, it would turn it off. That's just because it's an inverted signal and it's not really a big deal. But it flips the state of this. So when I push this button right here, this will turn off. These pistons will come down. The water turns on, so they all fall down on top of these slime blocks. And then you have this signal here that is coming right up top here and putting power into the side of the blocks where the gates are. When power is put into the gates, they are open, which is why the signal needs to be inverted. So we invert the signal so that happens. So the gates are open when the slime blocks are down, and that just happens on both sides. And then of course you have this right here, which leads directly into the slime, or into the piston that is controlling the slime blocks, and it's pretty much good to go. Then you see this signal right here, which is going right up top. And now this has a delay on it. Doesn't need much of a delay in this case because you're using a lot of, you're basically using a torch tower, which is like 1 tick per. So it actually works out pretty well. And what this guy does here is items actually flow up faster. I'm sorry. Let me try proper English. The items, when they're launched from a slime block, launch higher than mobs do. Probably because they're, you know, lighter. I don't know. That's my guess. But I don't know why how that works. Anyway, but it is a thing. They do get launched higher, and then these guys close, and it's all based on redstone delays and tick delays. So the items, the wool, gets shot out of the ceiling, and then these close, and then the items land right on top, so the easier collection than trying to get it from below. I'm still trying to play with water sources and things along those lines that will push it to you as you shear them here. But at the moment, I can't come up with a system that works well. And then you have the really cool launching of the sheep. It's really, really awesome. I love that. Which, by the way, is actually functional. It automatically disperses all of the sheep along the grass, so they each have a better chance of separating out and, you know, eating their own piece of grass rather than trying to eat the same 4 pieces of grass the entire time. So it works out really, really well. Now, I don't know when or if I'm even going to build this on the server, but I figured I would get the design out there because it is something that is, in my opinion, it's really, really cool. I mean, 40-some wool, that's a lot of wool, man. That's a lot of wool. Over 50 wool total, especially if it was all one color. It'd be awesome. Just awesome. So this is something I will probably end up getting into on the server. I just don't know when. So yeah, stick around for that. So now that I've shown you my sheep farm, I can go ahead and just kind of tell you a little bit. This is where I want to lay them out. I actually want one here and one here. And then the diagonal, like I said, I want my entire base to be on a diagonal. It will keep continuing. And what I'm going to have is a series of these rooms. So I'll have 2 sheep farms, one here, one here. It'll go into another one of these rooms with another 2, and then it'll go out further with another 2, and then out further with another 2. And that's kind of the idea I'm running with. Now, I don't know if I am going to in the next episode or not. Don't hold me to it, but I do want to get at least the blue and the light blue set up in my base for future expansion, because obviously I'll be expanding the base and I'll need a lot of this wool to do that. And currently I just have a large plot of sheep that I'm shearing manually, which it works. You know, this is one of the things that I'm fighting against. That build is kind of complicated. Now, it's easy to kind of, you know, use. It's actually kind of like a mini game. Can you catch all the sheep? Can you catch them? I don't know, but we're gonna try. It's kind of fun, you know, it's pretty cool. But it's all down to if it's worth it, you know? Is it worth to go through all of that trouble to do something like that in vanilla survival for something that's already, you know, kind of easy? But you guys know me. I like to farm things, and a lot of times I'll farm it just because I can. Pretty much. So I probably will end up getting into that soonish. I just don't know exactly when, so don't hold me to a certain time frame, but I will be getting into that, no doubt. So now that it's raining and it's an ugly day, ooh, let's do it right in the room. My room. I also need a bedroom. I need a place to put my bed. That's a thing. Anyway, if you liked the episode, please click that like button. Don't forget to share it among everyone. Share it to everybody, all the people, all over the internet. Just share it. Also, if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe or comment, favorite, and share if you feel like you want to. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.